This week on the Austin Healey channel, the boot gets squared up and the door gets patched. Welcome back to the shop. It's Monday, and surprisingly, the trunk didn't fix itself over the weekend. I did have a chance to think things over and kind of step back from it to get a new perspective. I also got a good comment from Pascal. Pascal was suggesting measuring corner to corner on the diagonal to see if there's a difference between the sides. This is classically how you square things up with a box. So yeah, that totally makes sense. So we're gonna do that first to kind of see where things are, and then go from there. So I'm just gonna start out very rough because there's a radius on the curve. You don't have exact corners to work off of. But we're just gonna get a rough idea going from what I think is center to center. This is 107.5. And from here to here is 110.5. So it's off quite a bit, as you can see. Even without marking the exact center of the radius, we can tell that it's off. So with the gaps looking better, we're going to put the shroud back on the car and see if we can keep them aligned. This piece on here I've cut off. It seems to have been in the wrong place. So it's gone. I've made a new one. Taking it off, everything squared up like it should. So hopefully everything will line up better now. So I've gone a lot deeper than I expected, but hopefully this solves the issues. Fixing the gap around the boot lid was far more difficult than I expected. It's taken a lot of time and a lot of thinking and a lot of problem solving. In the end, I'm so glad I've done it now. If I had painted everything and then done this, it would have been a nightmare. I would have ended up scratching everything and I'd probably have to repaint. So I'm glad this is the order I'm going in. I should have put it all together and fastened it all down a lot sooner. But this is where I am. In the end, it was this brace on the inside down here that was put in the wrong place by the previous repair. So the lesson I've learned is don't trust anything. Always check your squares, check your angles, make sure that everything is in the right place, and don't trust If you suspect that there's been a repair, don't trust it. Check it out really good. Lessons learned, but now we're back on track. It's Tuesday afternoon, so it's taken me 2 days to get the boot back into the right place. So I spent most of the day putting the panels on. 90% of the day. I needed to get them in the right position so I can take a measurement from here to here, because I know, well, I need to patch this part because it's missing, and I know from here to here the gap is right, but I need to know exactly where the gap should be here, so I can cut this panel and put it in place. I'm not gonna cut all the way up here. I'm gonna, just follow this line here and just use a section of this. But I need to know exactly where this corner is, so before I can start cutting. Otherwise, it would get all weird. Now I know where they are. I can take my measurements and start fixing the door. Start off with, we're gonna make some rough cuts. So we're gonna cut about here, just whack it off, and then we'll come along here. We're intentionally going to leave it long so we have room to play with. This will just kind of help us zoom in on the area. And now, without all that extra metal in the way, we can start to see where we're supposed to be. And we can start trimming it down, getting closer and closer. So with this in place, it doesn't mean we can just jump in and start welding it. There's a under piece that's missing. Well, it's been hacked out as well, probably from rust. So I have to replace that first. But I wanted to get this in place because it's on the outside and it shows and it makes me feel better. That's all. Here we have the door upside down, and you can see the pinholes in here. I'm gonna just make a piece of corner angle iron, I guess, but out of sheet metal that's this thickness, and then lay it on here and cut out where it lines up. So we have the bottom patched up and looking good. Now we can fix this more permanently. This piece, there's a lip that folds over, and when it came, it was just at a 90-degree angle. I bent it on around to get it nice and to get it started, because when you do that, it tends to bend the shape. So then I straightened it out, and now I have it on the car, ready to do some final attachment. And I want to crimp this down further, because as this crimps, I'm not exactly sure where the end is going to be, so I want it as close as possible to the final point.
If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to tell you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Thanks for watching, and your support is very much appreciated.